All right, sorry if the video's got to get posted in two parts. My girlfriend just called me and it stopped the video. So, we are on to the Temu version of me, red-haired white guy with an Asian girlfriend, Steven. Steven, you have also won a game, so you could change your name back, buddy. So what do we got here? We got Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love. Great start. Devontae, David Montgomery, who I've always fucking hated with white hot passion. Josh Jacobs, hate him. What do we got? CJ Stroud. I really hate the decline of CJ Stroud. Can we just, kind of get that out of the way? I root so hard for that kid. Fucking nice guy. Like, one of those, like, mom had him and his four brothers living in an attic while dad's in jail and shit, and he fucking made it. And he looked fucking incredible last year and maybe the year before. But he looked awesome. Like the next big thing, man. Oh my God, imagine Hopkins was still on that team. It would be fucking elite. But you have great receivers on that team, Nico Collins and Tank Dell. If you could just keep them both fucking healthy at the same time with their abysmal running game, he should be putting up numbers, man. It sucks to see him not doing that. So you need Mixon on the field. You need Mixon on the field doing big things to keep defenses honest, because why would you defend the run when the runner is Nick Chubb, who has broken his leg so many fucking times? It's astounding that he can even stand. And yeah, just really, I root for him, and I think that he'll hit a stride. He'll step up. I don't think we've seen what CJ Stroud is all about this year. So great at quarterback. I'm going to give you that. You have a guy on IR on your bench. You should probably fix that. We got McLaurin having a shitty season. Washington's been kind of upsetting, to be honest. You got Jalen Waddle. Miami's been upsetting too, man. But I feel like he's got, he's him. He's Waddle. And listen, Hill, I think, is in some more legal trouble, so he might be going through some shit. And also, he broke his leg, so he's out for the season. So Jalen Waddle should be a lock and load wide receiver one for the foreseeable future. I can't see him being less than like a 14-point floor, which is pretty incredible as far as floors go. But your receiver core is pretty weak. You got decent tight ends. Your running back core is very inconsistent. Jacobs obviously having an okay year. What do we got here? 14, 14, 11, 31, 32. So, no, he's having an amazing past couple games. So, if he keeps that up, that really fucking helps your team. That helps your team big time, because you're front loading on the Packers. You have their quarterback, you have their running back. So Jacobs is obviously the RB1 on that team. He's getting a ton of volume. What he does with it is what's to be seen, and how healthy he can remain is what to be seen. So, honestly, because of your receiver core, man, I can't in good conscience give you more than a C, and I would rather have AJ's team than yours. So at 3-3 with this team, I could see you probably winning maybe 7 games, perhaps 8 games. And you might have a playoff team. I'm not confident about it. You're only 2 points behind me, and you got the same record. But there's a lot to be seen there. There is a lot to be seen there. Like I said, not a very strong wide receiver core. I think a big part of your season is going to hinge on Josh Jacobs continuing with this momentum, and possibly maybe needing CJ Stroud to kind of step up a little bit too. All right. So very interesting team. The next team, we're talking James. Okay, James 3-3. Also, so he's in that 6-way tie for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, third place. So he's got 931 points, but that's deceiving. Dude should have like 90 more points. honestly, he should only be about 10 points behind third, fourth, fifth place. And he's 100 points behind because he didn't set his lineup 2 weeks ago. Listen, you could say fucking, I didn't have a computer, I didn't have a phone, all you want. Bro, go to the fucking library. You have a sick fucking team, and you started 6 guys on a bye, or 4, or whatever, 5. I don't know. But exciting team here. Honestly, not the strongest quarterbacks, but they're guys that have talent and honestly can go off any given week. One of them is your flex, so obviously, you know, if you're getting 25, 30 points out of your flex, it doesn't matter if it's quarterback or if it's fucking kicker, you're getting those points. So, you know, having Rodgers as your second quarterback, but having Drake London and Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know, and DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman. Listen, Godwin's doubtful, but, you know, he's always been a reliable fantasy guy, especially for a flex. Juju's a fucking joke. Fuck him. Cooper Kupp's having a bizarrely bad year, but at the same time, his quarterback isn't the same, and he's not the same. But, you know, that's depth in spades. But, dude, you gotta move a receiver, man. You gotta figure something the fuck out with that shit because you got too many. You cannot have Michael Pittman Jr. on your fucking bench, dude. Like, you know, Daniel Jones. It really is the Giants. The Giants are like the worst, like other than Cleveland, the worst place you could fucking get drafted to. Like, look at Saquon, you know, like for years and years, he was good, great even, but always hurt and, you know, just never really, you know, you didn't get to see him perform on the big stage in the playoffs where, you know, you could take over a game when one game is all that matters, you know. But you have Pittman here, 28, 19, 15, 15, 4, whatever. You have a couple bum games, but I'll take 15 points or better 4 out of 6 weeks in fantasy. Dude, he cannot be on your bench. You got to move him for some kind of fucking asset or something, okay? You got Metcalf, 13, 12, 12, 27, 20. So he's on the uptrend. You got to start him, right? You have a spoil of riches in wide receiver, and the fact that you don't have a third quarterback, you really should make a move there, bro. That's very obvious. You have great running backs too, dude. You got Jonathan Taylor, who's having an incredible season. Obviously, he's not. You can't trust him to stay healthy the whole year, but I mean, listen, if he does, he has won people fantasy chips. Like 2 years ago, he was unbelievable, you know. 13, 35, 35, 15, 32, 25. Dude, this guy is fucking crazy, having an amazing fucking year, balling out, all right? Henry has just fucking fallen off the map. Obviously, you feel like you got to start him because it's Derrick fucking Henry. 35 in week 1, but then he goes down. He has 1, 9, 7, 9. I'm not singing a fucking rap song. I'm fucking giving you Derrick Henry stats. That is not typical. And at this point, I personally wouldn't trust him. He had 15 last week, which you think would be his floor. I don't know what's going on with him. He did have a couple costly fumbles, but Derrick Henry is also not the kind of guy you can bench for having a fumble. That's some shit you do to a rookie or a guy in a one-year contract or a journeyman, not what you do to Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry is playing without Lamar Jackson and not putting up fucking crazy numbers, which means he must have lost a step somewhere, or their offensive line is just not doing what it needs to be doing. The thing is, with a guy like Derrick Henry, you kind of want to, you know, believe that it doesn't matter what the offensive line is. Like a guy like a DeAndre Hopkins, where, you know, it didn't matter who the quarterback was. He was going to have 1,500 yards. He was going to get touchdowns. He was going to break 100 receptions with nobody, with 6 to 7 garbage quarterbacks. That's what you expect from Henry because of that elite and unique size and talent. But you're not really getting it, and you're not getting it at a primetime moment. So I don't know. I might be thinking of shifting over to Travis Etienne as my starter, who's had 20, 17, 12, 23, 9, 10. Again, not, you know, a great 2 last weeks, but I would say he has earned a little bit more of the trust than Derrick Henry. All in all, great team. Tight ends, who do we got? You have Kittle on IR, which obviously is a fucking killer, but what else do you fucking expect at this point, man? Kittle cannot stay healthy for his fucking life, all right? It's a heartbreaker, but it's a sad reality. He is not going to be healthy, he will, he does it every fucking year. And let's see, does he even have any hope of coming back? What are we looking at here? IR, projected points, zeros until week 8. So, they're saying he might practice this week. He might come back in the next week or two. We'll see how effective he is. They've used him as a blocker a lot too, and that's the problem. They love this guy's energy as a blocker, and I always fucking hated that. Like the NBA evolved, they saw guys like Steph Curry could shoot from anywhere, and they could change the game, and they could change statistically how we view scoring to a 3-point league. Now, I hate watching it, but people adapted. They changed. The NFL has turned into tight ends can be your receiver one on your team. Your tight end could be your best receiver. Look at guys like Rob Gronkowski. Look at guys like Tony Gonzalez, Chambers. Look at fucking who else am I thinking of here? I'm missing so many elite guys. Julius Thomas, guys that, and Travis Kelce, guys that are going to outpace your receivers because they have a more diverse skill set and bigger size and can handle hospital balls. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, San Francisco is just smitten with this guy blocking, which is leading to hamstring injuries. And, you can't properly train and condition and keep your body in optimal shape when you're playing two very vast different roles on the field. You're playing the offensive line, going up against 300-pound guys, and you're acting as a receiver and having to keep up with safeties and corners. It's a very difficult thing, and Kittle has proven that it is almost impossible to do both effectively. I think only Rob Gronkowski has truly done that in our time, where he has, loved to pop guys and also been a lead receiver on a team. So, hey, listen, that's not a knock on Kittle. Gronkowski was a once-in-a-lifetime talent, as far as we've seen. But having said that, the team has got to wake up and realize he's not both. Get a bigger fucking tight end. Put him on the fucking line. You have other tight ends. And then they decide to throw the ball to those other tight ends who aren't as athletically gifted as him and can't do as much after the catch because Kittle is such an effective blocker. Get these other guys blocking and let Kittle receive balls and not be getting fucking hurt all the time. All right? You know how hard it is to hold off a 300-pound guy and then go out for a fucking 30-yard pass on the next play? It's not logistically sustainable, and I hate what they've done to Kittle because he's one of my favorite players. I love his vibe. I love his game. Fuck San Fran. They've really kind of broken this guy down. He is broken. He is broken, and he cannot stay healthy for a consecutive 3 or 4 games. So I'm not confident about having that, but in a perfect storm, maybe the guy's healthy during the fantasy playoffs and fucking that guy loves stepping up in big moments. So you can't drop him. He's on IR now. That's where he should stay. When he gets healthy, I'm probably looking at maybe getting rid of Cooper Kupp because you're going to have to make space. But all in all, honestly, dude, putting aside the quarterback depth, your position players and what you have going on here, I give it a B+, bordering on an A-. I might have to go B+ on Marcus too, and because he has a really great team. I don't want to put you ahead of him, but at the same time, you might have a higher ceiling than him. I think Marcus has a higher floor than you. I think his guys are more dependable, more steady, but I think if you pay attention, you don't let what happened last week happen again, I think you're a sure thing to make the playoffs. Obviously, this pends the health of your players. Derrick Henry needs to step up or you need to bench him. One or the other. But with that being said, if Henry's healthy, get his shit back together, Lamar comes back, the team starts clicking again, you're throwing different styles of runs at teams, he becomes more effective again. So I don't think we've seen the last of Derrick Henry. I think Rodgers only gets better. I think Metcalf gets better if he can stop dropping the fucking ball. I think ETN has a pretty safe job if he doesn't lose it, which, keep 2 hands on the ball and average over 5 yards a carry, you'll keep your job. Michael Pittman, dude, if you're not starting him, you got to move him. Too many people need wide receivers, Too many people. Steven, desperate for a wide receiver. So I would probably, explore trading, but B+ on your team, and you're right there. You're right in the hunt. 2 weeks could go by and you might be in second place. Really great team. So now Malik Neighbors ACL. We got Gio. Horrible loss having, Malik Neighbors go down. I was really excited. I hate the Giants, but I really like him. So, always sad to see a guy go down like that. Again, it is just the Giants because Daniel Jones is playing amazing football right now. Maybe not amazing, but let's see. What do we got here? He's ranked 5th in our league. Points-wise, 47, 30, 26, 32, and 41. Dude is having a great fucking year. He is 5-1. Never could have happened on the Giants. Just straight up couldn't happen. You're talking about a guy who tripped over the 20-yard line. Okay, you're talking about a guy that just came in and people had the memes that he looked like, Eli Manning's little brother or son or whatever. Just the Giants suck, man. The Giants don't know what the fuck they're doing with anybody or anything. They are ass. Balls ass. Shit balls ass. Piss ball shit ass. That's what the Giants are. So you have Daniel Jones, goes to Indianapolis. Pretty garbage team. Turns it around. Pretty good team. All right. Ladd McConkey, great pick. As Gio would say, put him in 20 points a game. He grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. He went to school. All the Gio shit. Good pick. Good research on that. T. Higgins not having a great season, but Joe Burrow going down, decimated. Absolutely decimated Cincinnati's offense. Higgins and Chase are just going to get volume points, but now they're getting number 1 defensive players and number 2 defensive players against them with who throwing the ball? Browning? Nah, not Joe Burrow. Listen, I'm keeping Joe Burrow until Cincy says they're shutting him down because he is that elite of a talent, but now he has proven 2 years in a row. 3 years in a row, he cannot stay healthy. So Burrow's firmly on my do not draft list until he can prove otherwise. He is young enough that he can resurge, but at the same time, we're already talking about a young talent that went to the Super Bowl, should have won it, didn't win it, and has gotten injured, and his team has suffered 2 years in a row now. So that sucks ass. Sucks ass for T. Higgins owners because he is an elite talent. For me, I always say I'd rather have T. Higgins in the 5th round than Jamar Chase in the 1st because, he's as capable as Chase is putting up the numbers. In some games, they do it when you got too good of a player on Jamar Chase. So, but he is not having that year. Not great. Saquon really just not doing what we thought he would do after last year. Obviously, you can't keep up that kind of sustainability of dominance that he had last year, week in, week out, multiple touchdowns, 100 yards, fucking crazy. But he is not even 50% of where he was. He is ranked 54th in points in our league, 18, 10, 18, 19, 9. For his floor to not be 10 is unacceptable. All right? You don't have Jason Kelce there. The tush push isn't as effective. Bro, he does everything. He catches balls. He's an elite rushing talent. He's great between the tackles. He's great downhill. He can do anything. He can catch a slant. He can catch a fucking check down, a bailout, and turn it into a 70-yard fucking highlight. All right? And he's just not doing it this year. I haven't watched a lot of Philly games, so I'm not sure if it is the game script, because I know they've had a lot of tight games where towards the end of the game, even if your best player is your running back, you still are throwing the ball because of clock management. So I don't know if it's that, because honestly, 1 touchdown, every other game would probably put him in the top 30 instead of the top 55. So obviously, I think he's going to put up better numbers as the season goes on, especially with Philly not looking so dominant. They won a lot of games in a row, but they were all 1-score games. They had to make some comebacks. They had to get some calls. They're not dominating the league the way you would think that a Super Bowl champion would. But they play in a garbage division, so they're pretty safe to make the playoffs, I would say. But Saquon has to be the centerpiece of that offense. It cannot go any other way. Their receivers are good, but they're not good enough. They're not better than Saquon. Dallas Goedert, great tight end, not better than Saquon. Saquon's got to see the ball. He needs 25 touches a game. It's just diabolical to think otherwise. So Saquon, I think, has to, if the Eagles are going to be good, he has to be good. I think he will get better. You got Javonte, who, I thought would maybe be better, but listen, he's having a great season. He's had a couple clunkers, but his floor has gotten better than Saquon's, which is crazy. He's ranked 38th in our league. So 20, 25, 12, 20, 29, 9. Great. Can't ask for more, especially because that was your second running back taken, not your first. So awesome. You're locked in there. Tight end. Who the fuck are you starting? What is that? You do have Brock Bowers, who has been hurt, so, we got to give you a little fucking leeway there. But what are you fucking starting, man? You can't tell me there's nothing on the wire that's projected more than 1.25 points. Hoping Brock Bowers comes back, because I have him in another league. Elite talent. Last year, nobody was better than him for the, second half of the season. You're talking the last 10 games. He was the overall fantasy tight end 1. He was real life tight end 1. He is a big, sure-handed guy that could eat hits and fucking make guys look stupid. He is an incredible route runner. He's young. He's on a team that is kind of trying to throw shit to the wall, see what sticks. And that puts him in a great position. Geno Smith doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's incredibly accurate in 20, 25, and closer yardage passes. So that should be a slam dunk for Bowers. When he comes back, all I can hope is that they've been planning a way to try to get this guy the fucking ball, because that is good for everybody else on that team, including Ashton Genty, including Geno Smith. So, Brock Bowers, hope you come back. Hope you come back strong. And then you have his quarterback, Geno Smith. Love Geno Smith. I love his story. I love his comeback. Hasn't been having, the best go of things. They are 2-4. His last 3 games have been pretty abysmal. He had 2 he had 2 40-plus point games, but everything else has been pretty bad. When you look at it, 23, 19, 21 in our league. So in other leagues, he's probably scoring less than 10 in some of those games. So that is not good. Keenan Allen trying to turn back the hands of time on the Chargers. Having an up and down, inconsistent year, but not bad. 20, 18, 20, 9, 10, 6. Call it about a 9-point floor. But for a guy that's on your bench that you could slide in during bye weeks, that's awesome. Quentin Johnson, always been a boomer bust guy, so, leaves a lot to be desired there. J.K. Dobbins, hate him. The hype behind him is multiple years long, and we have yet to see this guy really take a team over. But he has also been in a lot of committees, so that holds him back a lot. He was a Baltimore running back for years, and Baltimore running backs are notorious for being in a committee, getting hurt, and nobody is going to run more balls than Lamar Jackson on the team. So in Denver, he's giving you 15, 15, 16, 13, 15, 4. Just take that 4 out of there, and you have a rock solid, 14, 15-point floor, which is great. Amazing consistency, but not, he hasn't broken 20 once. So a viable starter, definitely a guy you flex. Great to have during bye weeks. But for you, I say your wide receiver core is pretty fucking bad. You might have the worst receivers I've seen so far. But your running back core is excellent. You have 3 guys I'm going to start every fucking week without question. You have one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league. Your other one kind of blows. Tight end, you need Bowers to come back. So here's the deal. Brock Bowers comes back. You get a different quarterback that has, or Geno Smith steps up and Saquon gets better with Ladd McConkey. I give your team a C-. I can't give it a D. because you're tied, same record as me. Your points aren't very good. You're the first team that I've mentioned so far under 900 points. So I think there is some work to be done there. I definitely think you need to work on your wide receivers, develop your tight end and quarterback depth, or at best just get a better quarterback and move Geno Smith, maybe with one of your running backs, and pull off, getting either an elite wide receiver or a B tier quarterback. But something needs to be done with this team. With Burrow out, T. Higgins is not the guy that you drafted, and Bowers, we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back from injury. So you do need to make some moves. I believe I see a C- team in front of me. I see probably 6 wins, 7 maybe. Sorry to be harsh, but that's how it is. Another bad beat team. We got Josh. Josh, in my opinion, has a very good team. Made a huge controversial trade early in the year with Booth, and it wound up working out wonderfully for him as Tyreek Hill broke his leg and Burrow's on IR for 10 weeks. So saved his season that way. Otherwise, I think he might actually be below Trey. So we're looking at Matthew Golden, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison, Jameson Williams, CeeDee Lamb. So you need CeeDee Lamb to come back. CeeDee Lamb's got to save this fucking team, because other than Chris Olave and Marvin Harrison, I don't really see anybody that's very trustable as far as volume goes. Those two guys are not the most elite receivers in the league, talent-wise, size-wise, being dynamic-wise, but they're volume guys. They're going to get their points. And, you throw a touchdown in there and a big catch, and you're looking at over 20 points. So I think you're in okay shape at receiver. At running back, you have Jaylen Warren, who I roster in another league, and we're just waiting for that consistency to hit. You started 14, 19, 14, and then he got hurt, bye week, comes back from the bye week, has a very disappointing game. However, they did play Cleveland, who has the second best rushing defense in the league, and you're going against Cincinnati, who has the worst rushing defense in the league. A rivalry game. You're in Cincinnati. I think he sees a lot of touches. This game is on a Thursday night, though. Thursday night is usually cancer for players, but this year has been a little bit different. There have been some breakout performances on Thursday. I think Amazon was feeling the heat from people really roasting the quality of the games that they put out. So who knows? Jaylen Warren, but you that game can't come soon enough. You got to see how he's going to play out, because if he plays out well, you're looking at a guy that in the next several weeks might be projected 17, 18, 19, 20 points. But that's got to happen sooner than later, because we're already talking about being far into the year, okay? Now, Rico Dowdle, holy shit, where the fuck did this guy come from? Banging 40 and 36 points in your last 2 weeks. So, this guy might fucking save you big time, because he is putting up crazy numbers, and let's see how he's doing it. And no surprise here, they've won those last 2 games too. So he's going to get some fucking credit there. You know what I'm saying? He's okay, it says, the coach says, we'll see moving forward if he's the right fit. I'm sorry, Chuba Hubbard has had the keys to that fucking job since Christian McCaffrey left, and he has sucked goat scrotes. There is no redeeming quality to Chuba Hubbard. And I'm sorry, this guy fucking coming in and giving you what he fucking gave you in those last few weeks. I can't see the fucking stats on here. Oh, there we go. Right here. Let's see what he's doing here. How is this guy doing it? Sorry for the dead air. It's a fucking 800-year-old laptop. All right, so now you got 30 rushing attempts, 180 yards, so it's six rushing yards per attempt. That's great. And then you have ETN right behind him, fucking, with nothing. But at the same time, ETN's having a pretty good year too. Well, that's... Oh, yeah, no. I was like, what the fuck, am I crazy? I thought ETN was on Jacksonville, and it's a different ETN. So he's getting the lion's share. He's getting all the fucking touches. Is he getting any kind of receiving action? Yeah, I mean he's getting receptions too. Fucking caught 4 to 5 passes for an extra 56 yards. So a guy can't put up 200 yards, 150 plus yards 2 games in a row and not take the starting job. So that starting job has to be his. There's no question about it. I mean, Carolina has to want to lose to not start him. I think there'll be an actual riot in Carolina. So, good job. So, listen, if Jalen Warren steps up and Dowdle keeps his job as running back one, dude, you have a sick running back combo. The rest of your running backs are kind of weak. You do have CeeDee Lamb, so once you have him, you could start Lamb, Harrison, Olave, Warren, Dowdle. This team at its core right now, you have some tight end depth. But, your guys have been underperforming, Mark Andrews and Dalton Kincaid. But Kincaid's low-key nice. I like Kincaid. And Allen's having a hard time finding his guy, really, with Diggs being gone. So Keon Coleman hasn't really stepped up. So there's still, Kincaid's getting very good volume. So this team, as I see it, I'm going to give it a C. But it has the chance to be a B- to a solid B. If, CeeDee Lamb gets on the, field and starts burning 25, 30-point games, Jalen Warren gets a 15-point floor, and Rico Dowdle stays as the starter. So if those things happen with your quarterbacks and those receivers and then those running backs, honestly, you could be like a B+ team. Right now, I'm going to give you a C+, just because of where you're at the moment. You've had a couple bad beat losses. You put up 190 points this week and got fucking steamrolled by Gabe. Gabe's just shitting on everybody. So nothing to be down for on that. You're 1 win away from being in third place, basically. You have more points than the 7th place team and the 6th place team. You're only 40 points behind that logjam of, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd place. So you're right there. You're right in the driver's seat. A couple strategic wins versus losses. You could be in 2nd, 3rd, 4th place by next week, 2 weeks. So, Josh, I think you have a great team. I think its ceiling is a B+. I think where you stand is a C+, but I think you're in great shape. I'd definitely rather have your team than Gio's. I think it's going to be kind of a fight. I like your team better than Stevens. I'm going to be honest. I think you deserve to be in this top 6. I think you will end up in the top 6. Now, the team with the worst beats of the year, by far, Brandon, with injuries. Injuries have decimated this man. Aaron Jones, Rashee Rice just came back. Tyreek Hill, Joe Burrow. I mean, Lamar Jackson's been out for 2 weeks, and he's going to be out again. Dude, this sucks. That is a fucking disaster. He has lost an MVP fucking amount of... Just those players would put him from next to last to possibly next to first. He had Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Okay? He had starters everywhere, RB1s. This guy has just been destroyed by injuries. And then the insult to injury on top of it is his wide receiver one is Jamar Chase, and he lost his quarterback, and now he's not what he should be. I mean, he's still getting projected 17 a game. He's had 2 good games the last 2 weeks, but he also faced Detroit, who has the 6th worst defense against the pass. Green Bay, who has the 10th worst defense against the pass. So you're looking at kind of candy cake games. Plus, he also is, without question, the target leader on a team that also cannot run the ball effectively. So he has a very up and down kind of outlook for the year because of the poor quarterback. But with his talent, with his speed, with his size, with the way he plays, and his target share that he demands, I think volume-wise, he's going to probably have a 15-point floor. I don't think those 8-point weeks are going to be typical. It appears he's building a rapport with this guy. So we'll see. Cincinnati's kind of fucked. They've lost every game since Burrow went down. So It's kind of to be expected. And when the hope is gone, then the players start fucking losing faith. And, he's not in a contract year. So what's the fucking point? That's when teams fall apart and when, the self-sabotage happens. So it could go one of two ways for you. And honestly, you need it, bro, because the hope is gone, man. You're starting Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, viable starter for fantasy. Jamar Chase, great. Nico Collins, great. Love love that for your wide receiver core. I take no pleasure in you getting butt fucked by injuries. You got depth at wide receiver. Your running back situation is a disaster. I do love Quinshon Judkins. They are playing Miami this week, so that should be a showcase to see what he could do. Miami is the 5th worst team against the rush. I'm a high guy on him. Since starting, he put up 16, 22, 15, and then they had a shit game, obviously, against Pittsburgh. Everybody on Cleveland did bad. So, we'll give him a pass on that one. We'll see what happens with Miami. If he steps up, listen, I'm not trusting Kenneth Walker on his 10th year in fucking Seattle to finally do something. He's going to get 2 good games. He's going to get hurt, and then that's it. I think that you definitely need running back depth. However, with the bad beats you've had, things could be worse. Things could honestly be worse for you. I have to kind of give this team a D because of where it's at now. But I'm not saying that is anything bad against you as a coach. You have also had the fourth most points scored against you. So you've faced good teams. You're working the wire. You have the most moves. So you're at least putting effort in and you're trying. I got faith in you. I think, with a couple strategic wins, you can pull off 6 or 7 wins. You might. I don't think that this team could be a top 6 team unless some major things happen to other teams. So you need help and just keep on trucking, brother. I'm happy that you're still trying. You showed a lot of integrity. So the best of luck to you. I think that, I think that the 8th team's better than you. I think that the 7th team could go one way or the other. I think the 5th team could go one way or the other. I think the 3rd team could go one way or the other. I think there's a lot of things that can happen. It's early enough in the season, even though we're almost halfway through. But 10 teams, anything could happen. You got a 6-way tie for 3rd place. So there's a chance. You're only 1 win behind. You know what I'm saying? Gabe's just going to keep fucking people up. So, there's hope there for you. Okay? Trey, you're 1-5. Dude, help yourself, man. You got guys on the IR and you're fucking on your bench, not in your IR slot. No, you finally moved them. You still have Russell Wilson on your team. Ever since he threw that interception in the Super Bowl, his career's been over. He's a bad vibes guy. Everyone thinks he's a fucking cornball. Nobody wants to rally around him. Just get fucking rid of him, dude. There's no redeeming quality to have him. You have Daniel Bellinger. He's projected 2 fucking points. Your whole bench is projected 0 points by 6 points, 8 points, 2 points, and IR. So you need to make moves, bro. Like you got to do stuff. Because honest to God, you don't have a horrible team. You're starting Tyler Lockett though, dude. Like, you got to fucking figure that shit out. Your wide receiver core is a disaster, but you have decent running backs. You have great quarterbacks. You need a lot of shit to happen. Set your fucking lineup because you have Tyler Lockett in there projected 5 points with Devonta Smith projected 14 on your bench. So right off the bat, you're fucking up, right? So if you just make that one move, you're already projected 10 more points this week, all right? You got Bijan. You could do stuff here. You have 3 viable quarterbacks too. I mean, get it together, man. 2 quarterbacks, but get it together. Get it together, man. You got Caleb Williams. You have Kyler Murray. You got Bijan. You got Kelsey. You got Ibuka, who's going to start stepping up, I believe. And you have, Evans and Godwin still out. You have Devonta Smith. You could do stuff with this team, all right? Just get it together, all right? And make a fucking effort, dude, because we all love you, but, nobody wants to have that one guy in the league that's just, shows up one week and then fucking disappears for 3 weeks. You're not out of the playoffs. You could win that money. And think of the story it would be. I started off 1-5 and I fucking made it to the playoffs. Dude, you have a better team than some of the other teams ahead of you. Barely, there's stuff you can do there too. There's a lot of moves you can make. You're not over worrying about starting the wrong players because you only have a certain amount of players that are even worth starting at this point. You need to work the wire. You need to take risks. Maybe propose a trade. Do a little research. Hit the pen a couple extra times. Get your mind going, bro. Fucking do some research. Whatever, man. Listen to a podcast. But, you wanted in this shit. We had a banging draft. So you need to step up, get your shit together, and fucking figure it out. Make some moves, pay attention, because you're still in this thing. All right? So that's all I got. Trey, team gets a D. But you could work it into the C's, honestly. What do I see for the future? I see Gabe winning first place decidedly, unless some major fucking injuries happen. I see Marcus making the playoffs. I see myself making the playoffs. I see James making the playoffs. I probably see AJ making the playoffs. Sixth spot is going to kind of be up for grabs with Gio, with Steven, perhaps Josh, perhaps Brandon. I think it's a long shot at this point. I think Trey put himself in the hole by really not kind of paying attention, not making any moves, and starting the wrong guys. Wins-wise, it's going to be very hard to climb out of that hole, but again, not impossible. You have 6 teams tied at 3-3. The third-place team is 3-3. They are only 2 wins ahead of the last-place team, and wins mean more than points. I've seen guys with the 8th most points in third place going into the playoffs. Generally, those guys get exposed and get fucking smacked in the first round, but luck plays a huge fucking part of this. It is gambling, okay? It is gambling. You are betting on professional players who are also probably fucking gambling on games. Refs that are fucking rigging shit, and guys that just, who knows, went out and partied the night before and are too hungover to fucking burn their receiver. The thing is, you just got to try. You got to keep it interesting, keep it fun, all right? And that's what I'm doing. So that's it. That's all I got for now. Hopefully a little bit better of a production value next week for the video, but I do intend on doing this weekly. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. Best of luck to you all. Kamish out.